Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, I am Adrielle, and I am telling a story of my life dating back from January 2016. Last episode, I started talking about the month of September and how me and Melissa, my roommate at the time, how we got into an argument. So this episode, I'm just going to continue from there. So here it goes. So the next day, I go to a counseling session, and in the counseling session, I'm basically ranting about Melissa. Like, I was so hurt by what she did. I'm just ranting about her, ranting. I remember calling my play cousin, like, this girl's so crazy. Like, this girl did this. I was very maniac. Like, I was very maniac, very angry. I've never been angry like that before in my life. So I decided that I'm not talking to her. Like, I'm just going to be here until the semester's over. And listen, I am getting out of here and getting my own place because I couldn't stand her. I couldn't stand the fact that I couldn't turn on the lights. There were times when she wasn't sleeping and I couldn't turn on the lights. There were times I wanted to do it was like, yo, I'm paying rent here. I was just so mad at her. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. Not going to talk to her, just going to endure for the rest of the semester. And that's that. School is going along, and I'm still going to the College of Law library to study. And majority of the time, I'm outside of the apartment. So I kind of wasn't focused on Melissa. So yeah, I wasn't focused on her. So September 15, I was laying in bed that night and I was thinking about the machine dream. I was like, man, that dream felt so insightful. It felt very informative. It felt like a lot was going on. What's the meaning? Like, what was the meaning of that dream, Lord? Like, I'm just thinking. And I remember asking the Lord, is Brandon my husband? Like, is this man my husband? Because at this point, I'm still asking for confirmations. So I'm like, is he my husband? And this is what the Lord tells me. He says, not yet. People are in the way. I was like, okay, that's interesting because in the dream, people were trying to get me far away from him. So I can understand if people are in the way. Now, who are these people? Who are these people? So I'm thinking maybe he's rolling with the wrong crowd of friends and God wants to remove those friends before me and him get together. I'm like, hey, I'm all for that. But then again, I really don't know who these people are that God is talking about. So I'm like, okay, God says he's my husband, but not yet, and that there's people in the way, then I'm going to just take it as that. Okay. September 24th, my car arrives in Atlanta. Finally. My car arrives, and I'm excited. Now I can do what I need to do. And also thinking to myself, the possibility of me leaving Melissa's apartment, I'm going to need my car to go apartment hunting. So it was a good thing that my car came that time. So after I get my car, I go to class, which was my public finance class. And I was extremely late because I was picking up my car. And the professor talks about a project that's coming up and it's due, I think, October 15th. So he was telling us how the project is extensive and could be intense, that it's best for us to do to start working on like a pre-draft of the project, hand it in so he can, assess what we're doing. And so by the time that we submit the homework, we wouldn't submit trash basically. So, and I get to class, Tracy is telling me this, and also the professor is talking about the project. So at the end of class, me and Tracy are walking, and we are walking to my next class. The building of the next class was also where the shuttle would pick up students, and that was the shuttle she was going to get in. So as we're walking, I tell her, hey, why don't we work on the project together? Come to the College of Law. We can work on it. Both of our minds can come together. And she was like, yeah, that's cool. So as I'm walking, We get to the building and the shuttle is parked by the building. She starts walking to the shuttle. As she's walking to the shuttle, I hear the Lord tell me, don't work with her. Now, mind you, this was my idea for her and I to work together. But I hear from the Lord, don't work with her. As she's walking to the shuttle, she turns around and says, hey, we're going to meet on Saturday, right? I was like, yeah, yeah. She goes into the shuttle. I go into the building. I was like, what did the Lord just tell me? He just told me not to work with her. Oh, but I already told her that we should meet at the College of Law. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh. Tell her, okay, I'll figure out on that day. And that day was going to be a Saturday. Like, I'll figure out on Saturday what I'm going to do. Saturday comes, and I'm still thinking, hey, what am I going to do? I can't tell her not to come again because it was my idea for us to come together at the College of Law. And I'm someone, I like to be a woman of my word. If I tell you, come, let's come together, I'm going to do it. If I tell you I'm going to meet you at 1 p.m., I'm going to meet you at 1 p.m. So I'm like, yo, I pride myself to be a woman of my own word. I already told her, let's meet at the College of Law. I'm going to meet up with her, right? So we meet up. And as we meet up, we're both talking about the project and working on it. Now, I did not have the Microsoft Word package on my laptop. So I was like, man, how am I going to do this? And then she's like, oh, just get the one from the school. So as I was getting the one from the school, I noticed that my work wasn't saving. But as I would ask her, it was kind of like she didn't want me to, it's kind of like she didn't want me to bother her with what she was doing. But every time she was asking me questions to help her, I would help her. So I remember just going back and forth with this whole Microsoft Word thing. I finally got it to save on my laptop, and it was nighttime. By the time it was nighttime, she was like, oh, yeah, I'm halfway done. Like, I'm done. I was like, man, I barely started. And I spent time helping her. But when I was asking her about my stuff and asking questions, she was always just giving me one answer. It's like, like she didn't want to be bothered about what I was doing. I was like, okay. I guess I just had to work on this during the week. So yeah, that was it. September 26th was when I was scheduled to have my first micro exam. So you already know that weekend I went in. Sunday, I went in. I probably studied for like 12 hours. I was in the College of Law for almost 12 hours studying. Like I said, every Tuesday I would study. Um, that yeah, that Sunday I really studied very hard, and class was on Monday. So Monday I was super nervous because y'all know last time I did poor. I see a note from my professor. It says, I would advise you to drop the class. And right next to it, I see 20. I'm like, wait, what? So I do not want to repeat that again. And so, yeah, I don't want to repeat that again. So I was in class, took the exam, and I noticed that the exam was quite better than the one from before. Like, I feel like the one from 2017 was quite intense. I didn't think this one was as intense. I feel like he simplified the questions in the exam. So I did what I did. I wrote what I wrote. I'm like, Lord, please. Lord, I need to do good. I'm on academic probation. I need to get out of it. I don't want to get kicked out this program. And I was just praying and studying throughout. And I just like, Lord, just crown my efforts. Okay. So after the exam, the rest of the month of September, I'm working on this project. And that was really how September ended. Now, as far as Melissa goes, me and her are not talking, and it's eating me up inside. I remember when I got my car, I would go to my car, do devotion in my car, and I would just pray to God, like, what is going on? why am I fighting with Melissa? Like, yeah, I don't like the stuff because she was doing some stuff that I really did not like. Um, but why are we fighting? Like, I'm living with her. We don't have to fight. And I don't like this. I don't like that we're fighting. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm like, is something up with me? Is something going on with me? Like, Lord, let me know. Because I feel like what I was mad for, the things I was mad for, things I was mad about, they were legit. So I'm just like, why is she, why is this going on? And also at this time, when it comes to Brandon, I told myself I am going to stop researching Brandon on social media. I think it was too much. Um, yeah, I'm like, okay, God said he's my husband. Not yet. People in the way. Okay, let me just focus on my semester and doing what I need to do. Okay, so yeah, I said I'm going to stop checking on Brandon. So that was how I ended the month of September. Now, October was when I found out about my results in the micro exam. And I am going to talk about that next episode. So, thank you everyone for tuning in to an unlikely story. So, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, share it with your family and friends, and just keep tuning in to the stories. So, until next time.